Alright, so I have here a pair of Michelin RS, PowerRS. So let's look at them. So Michelin PowerRS, size 140/70/17, and obviously PowerRS size, what's the size? Here it is. Size 110/70/17. So basically a front and rear, and this is for my CB200R. I've been wanting to try these out since they came out several years ago, but never came around to it. So I finally got a pair because the stock tires are just about worn out. I probably have less than 500 miles on the stock tires now. So yeah, so basically this rear size I'm getting, it's a different size from the stock size. The stock size is 150. I think it's, what is it, 150/60/17? But this is 140/70/17. So it's a little bit narrower, but it's actually a little bit larger in diameter. The reason why I got this, because I want it to be a little bit narrower. Narrower means that when you're turning, as you're turning, it turns faster and easier, less effort. But also narrower tires, when you're actually leaning over, with narrow tires, you actually don't have to lean as much as wider tires. With wide tires, you actually have to lean more for a given speed with a given radius of a turn. Narrower tires don't require as much lean as a wider tire. So the larger diameter makes the rear end a little bit taller, right? So that steepens the head tube angle a little bit. So basically that also makes it turn faster as well. So that's what I want out of my CB, because the CB is, it's basically intended as a beginner bike, and as a beginner bike, it's very neutral riding, very forgiving. So Honda didn't make it very fast turning. So I want it to be more fast turning, a little bit more sporty in that regards. But also larger diameter gears it a little bit taller. The stock gearing, I think, is a little bit too short, and I actually increased the front sprocket 1 tooth, but that I think it's too tall. It's okay for just if you're gonna do a lot of open road and highway runs, it's fine, but I don't usually do that unless I'm going on a road trip. If I'm not going on a road trip, I'm always, locally, I'm always riding around in the mountains, so I find that to be too tall. So I think the stock gearing is better. So this one, but the stock gearing, sometimes it could feel a little bit kind of short, just because on a small displacement bike, you have to do a lot of shifting. so some people complain about that, and I'm not too concerned about that, but you do have to do a lot of shifting. So this slightly taller will hopefully help with that. What I'm actually really hoping for is I'm waiting for someone to make a rear sprocket, a bigger tooth, like 1 tooth or 2 tooth bigger in the rear sprocket, but no one's made that yet. So until that's becomes available, this and when that does come available, I'm gonna go up 1 tooth in the back or 1 tooth in the front, and on top of that, I will actually also go 1 tooth in the front, and I will also go 1 or 2 tooth in the back. So that way it's not as tall. It's a little bit taller, but not as tall. So it's not as short as the stock gearing. But anyways, actually let's look at these tires some more. Let's see, made in Spain. Let's see, year code 18th week of 2019 for the rear. Let's see the front. I don't see it on here. Let me flip this around. Here it is. 18th week of 2017. Oh, this is kind of old. This is 3 years old already, this tire. Well, that's alright. 3 years, no big deal. It sits in the warehouse, so it's no big deal. Let's see, how many plies are these things? Radio. Here, this plies. So it's basically the sidewall is 2 plies. Polyester, the thread is 2 plies of polyester, 1 ply of aramid. Aramid is basically Kevlar. You know, Kevlar is a proprietary name owned by, I believe, 3M. So, but you know, the non-proprietary name is called aramid. So 2 ply, so it's not gonna be that stiff. The more ply sidewall, at least the sidewall anyways, the stiffer it'll be. Same with the rear. Rear is 2 ply the polyester. Yeah, so same. So front and rear is the same. Let's see. Oh, other thing about tire size on the CB300R. Even though the stock is 150, the rim size is actually the same as the CB F300. Was it? No, excuse me, CB300F. So the previous generation, or the CBR300, they used the 140, and the rim size is actually the same as the CB300R. So some people go, oh, you're using too narrow of a size for the rim or whatever. No, it's, the reality is that Honda kept the rim size the same, but they just put a wider tire instead of a narrow tire. Now they did that just for looks, basically, essentially what it is. I don't think it would perform better. I think this one will perform better. I believe this is also possibly lighter, but I mean, I don't have the factory size to measure back to back, so I don't know. I don't know for certain, but my best guess, I would say that this one is lighter than the other one. So performance wise, this size will be better overall than the wider one, the 150, 60, 17. Let's see. So these tires here, one thing that's really noticeable, and other tires do this too, but this one's like really noticeable, is the depth of the thread. The rear is twice as deep as the front. Usually the rear is probably about 1.5 times deeper than the front, I would say, but this one is like literally twice as deep. So that's interesting. So that's usually so tire wear, front and rear. The rear usually wears out a little faster than the front. It's usually somewhere between for every 2 rears is 1 front, or sometimes it's 1.5 rear for 1 front. Usually for me, because a lot of people, they go 2 rear to 1 front. For me, it's closer to 1.5 rear to 1 front, maybe even closer than that, maybe 1.25 rear to 1 front. But these tires, this is interesting. So I want to see how this wears. If they both wear evenly or not. Yeah. So other things that I wasn't expecting is the shape of the tire. I mean, it's not mounted, so I won't know until it's mounted. But you look at it from this angle, anyways, it's very round, right? It doesn't have the angular shape to it, so that kind of surprised me, because usually, because this is a power tire. The power tires are this sport bike tire. They're not touring tires, but they have like a round touring tire shape to them. But who knows? They might be different when you mount them on. But if I compare this to the Bridgestone S20s, those ones, even unmounted, you can see the angular shape to it. You can see it's kind of like a triangular type shape. Where the sides here is very flat here, and the middle is more narrow. So basically, with that shape, it falls over or leans over a lot easier. And when you are leaned over, because it's more flat right here, and you're leaning when you're at that angle, you actually have more traction, because that's that bigger patch, because it's flat with the road surface, where this one's curved, so this one has to deform a little bit to get the same shape. So that's kind of surprised me. So we'll see how it handles, how it turns, especially the side to side transition. That's where from one lane to the next lane, back and forth. I think that's where the handling is most noticeable. If you're just going straight and go lean to one way and then back straight again, there's not that much. It's harder to tell. But when you're actually going this way and over to that way and back or something like that, multiple leans rather than other, that's when you can really notice the difference. Okay, so with that said, I want to measure these things as far as weight goes. So let's do that. So I have my my Park Tool bicycle scale. So this thing weighs up to 50 pounds. So let's put this on the steps here. See if I can do this without. I'm not sure you guys can see this. Might be too sunny, maybe. Point that way too sunny. If I point it this way, let's see. Okay, that's probably a little better. Yeah, you guys can see that better. Bring it up a little bit. Okay, so you can see. Oops, let me zero it out. Oops, that was off. So you guys can see it's 0 pounds, 0 ounces. So this is the rear 140, 70, 140, 70, 140, 70, 17. So it's 13 pounds, 2 ounces. 13 pounds, 2 ounces. Let's do the front. The front is 110, 70, 17. So this one's definitely lighter. So that's what, 8 pounds, 11 ounces? 8 pounds, 11 ounces. Okay, so those are the two tires as far as how much they weigh. So I'm gonna put these in pretty soon. So I have a few more 100 miles before my stock tires wear out. So probably within the next week or so, I'm probably gonna put these on, and we'll see how they perform. You know, I'll let you know about these. I'll give an initial feel after the first couple 100 miles. Then after that, once they're worn down, before I replace them, I will give you another. I give you the long-term review and see how they perform. Okay, so that's it. So these are the Michelin PowerRSs. All right, stay tuned for the initial review on how they perform. Thanks for watching.